Record. All right, so this is our Delta Fire team call for October 4th, month of October, and just kind of wanted to, recognize some people for Success Club, which was hard in September. I think it was hard. I think that was the last month anyway. I don't even know my months anymore. I think across the board, it was really hard for everybody. So if you hit SC, amazing job, because people seriously struggled. And that's not just our team. I mean, it's everybody. So Danielle is going to give us some awesome tips on that later. But the biggest thing is just to keep staying consistent, keep starting those conversations, and, you'll get there. Just keep on plugging along. But SC10 this month, we had Bethany, and that was in the middle of her moving, so that's pretty awesome. She's not on the call, but so SC10 was for Bethany. SC5 and higher, Stacy Wilkinson, myself, Holly Elliott, Jessica Pascal, and Bree Edwards. And then people that helped, at least one or two people, kind of SC 1 to 5 category. We had Christy Davis, Elise Zilstra, Will Wilkinson, Kelly Bott, Jennifer Rainbolt, Jamie Harris, Rihanna Job, Ashley Murphy, Meredith Kapler, and Wendy Hill. So that was great. A lot of people getting started with helping people this month. So awesome job. Announcements I just wanted to go over real quick. I've got our October and November calendar posted in the team page. My notifications are, hang on, I'm going to actually log out of Facebook, because those notifications are really annoying.
Let me do it too. I'm getting the same notifications you are.
Uh-oh. Okay, so our team calendar, I've got it in our group pages, but on this past Monday, so yesterday, Ashley started another one of her awesome step challenges. We are walking through Europe this month. The last one that she did was amazing. It was so much fun. So y'all jump in that one if you want to. And invite your people for that. Our team call, honestly, is obviously right now. Our group for fall. So Suzanne helped us start out a Seasons of Change group. It's for all of fall. So it started technically at the end of September. I think it was the 22nd. But it's going to be like a 3-month continuous group. So anybody that's got a challenge pack, doing their program plus their Shakeology, feel free to add them to the Seasons of Change group. We're going to, really keep it going. Check in with everybody a lot, lots of motivation, lots of recipes. If you find a good recipe that you make, and, share it in the group. Let's really add a lot of value in that group and make this a really good one. Our next sneak peek is going to be, for our team, is going to be on October 24th, just like we've been doing them as the little 1-hour live event. But also, there's going to be a bigger quarterly sneak peek that Diamond Fire is starting to do as a team with all of us as well. And I think it's going to be October 17th and 18th. Is that right, Suzanne?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking. And I'm not sure of all the specifics yet, but I think it's running as a 2-day group. There's going to be, some regular posts. There's going to be some videos shared. There's going to be some live done. And it's going to be kind of a two-day big event, so that we're kind of planning on doing once a quarter with Jamie's Fire team. Another big thing, Quarter Force is going to launch. The challenge packs are going to launch on October 31st, and then the base kits will roll out on November 1st. So go ahead and start promoting that. Do the sneak peek if it's still available. And, start talking about that with your people. We will have our own challenge group, test group, whatever you want to call it, for Quarter Force only, starting on November 14th. So those are kind of our announcements as far as scheduling. One other thing I just wanted to kind of mention that I am going to start doing with my personal coaches, new ones that are coming on right now, because I feel like we did this really cool self-paced training group, which I still really like if you have somebody that's going to take the initiative to actually, do the training and go through it on their own. But a lot of people aren't getting involved in that group. And I feel like I'm kind of disconnected from the coaches in there. So what I'm going to start doing, y'all kind of feel free to do what you want, but I'm going to try taking those trainings. So it's like 30 trainings or lessons, I guess, in that sneak peek template that we have. And I am going to start emailing them to my couple of coaches that are like brand new. I don't have that many that are coming on. So I feel like this will keep it really one-on-one. So like I'm going to send them their new coach email, get all that back, you know, like get in touch with them, make sure they get started with their online office training, that kind of stuff. Send them the pregame post that's in that self-paced training, and then send them day one or lesson number 1. And then they'll email me back when they've completed lesson 1 with like the assignment, any questions they have, that sort of thing. And they email me back, I'll send them lesson 2 and kind of, you know, keep it going like that. I'm kind of hoping that keeps us more connected and really, you know, in touch one-on-one with my new coaches, instead of putting them in a group and saying, here, this is your self-paced group, have at it, tag me when you have questions, and then check in with them once or twice a week. Because that's obviously not working for me. So I'm going to try something new with that. So just wanted to let you guys know that. That is my plan. Alrighty. So that's pretty much, whoops, I muted myself. I'm going to mute everybody real quick, except for Danielle, and introduce our rock star guest speaker. So excited. This week we've got Danielle McKean. She is from our big Diesel Nation team. If you don't know her yet, get to know her. She's amazing. She is a wife to a wonderful husband, Justin, who is super nice. Mom to 2 gorgeous little girls. They just got back from Disney, so had a super fun trip there. She is a retired hairstylist. She has been a coach for 3.5 years now. In that time, she has reached 8-star Lifetime Diamond. She's been an elite coach for the past 2 years, and she is a Success Club legend with 42 months in Success Club, which is awesome. So she's going to share some really great tips with us about kind of working with your coaches that are willing to build, hitting SC, finding business builders, that sort of thing. So thank you, Danielle, for joining us. I am going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are.
Awesome. So yeah, Kim and I were just talking, which by the way, you have such an awesome, humble, sweet leader. You guys are so blessed to have Kim, and I totally admire her as one of our leaders on Diesel Nation. And I'm so excited to see you at leadership, since I'm going to be solo. We'll have lots of fun. But she is just such a great leader. So listen to whatever she has to say, because obviously she's had this tremendous success for a reason. But we were kind of brainstorming on what she's going to kind of share on my team's call and what she wanted me to share with you guys. And we just kind of put our heads together and, you know, kind of some things that you guys needed to hear. And then some things I thought, you know, some things that have helped me get to where I am that will also help you maybe see it from a different perspective. Of course, you guys have heard this stuff many times, so just kind of open your heart and your mind. But working with the willing took me a while to learn this and figure it out, attracting strong business builders, and then how to rock Success Club every month. And of course, I would be lying if I said that I am a pro at this. You know, like every month it's up and down. And last month was probably my worst month as a coach. Being honest with you, I was at Success Club 7, even though normally I'm at Success Club 20. And it happens in this business, but we just got to work so much harder. And so I worked I don't even know, so harder than I ever have in this business. And it's going to pay off this month. It always kind of prospers 2 to 3 months, I have realized later. So just know that your hard work with all of these things does not go to waste. And it takes time. And you know, like I said, for me, it's been up and down, but I've realized that when I'm really consistent at these things, it happens a lot faster and a lot easier and just more smooth. So the first one, working with the willing. You know, in the beginning, I felt like I was pushing my coaches because I was so adamant about hitting certain goals. I had such a strong why my wife or my family was to get out of debt. We were really struggling at the time, 3.5 years ago, to make ends meet. I was working crazy hours as a hairstylist. My husband was working overtime and picking up side work, and we barely saw each other. And it was crazy that I had these such big goals and whys and visions for where I was going that I felt like I lost sight of why I was doing this along the way. And I felt like I was pushing my coaches instead of kind of loving on them, being their biggest cheerleader, and just working with the people that wanted this. And of course, along the way, I was like, why aren't people working? You know, I was recruiting all these coaches, and I just realized, and I talked to corporate mentor Kim Carver, and he said, you know, you really just got to hold people accountable and love them where they are. You can never push people because people feel that push. They feel that desperation, and I felt like I was desperate in the beginning of this journey, and I swear I scared everybody off. I must have scared off my challengers and coaches because I was just like throwing up the coaching opportunity. And I realized that once I kind of backed off and just let it come naturally and let people flock to me instead of hunting them down, I became more of a farmer instead of a hunter. And GoPro, Eric Borg talks about that, being a farmer and planting seeds. And I think that relates to also loving on people where they're at as far as coaches in the business and what their goals are. But you can't drag people with you along this journey. And I felt like I was being dragged, and it puts more pressure on you to, you know, work this business, and it becomes not fun. And then you're like, well, what did I take on besides my full-time job and my kids? And it became really stressful at one point. I was like, what am I doing? Like, you know I want this, and I know I had such big goals for my family, but I just felt drained all the time. And once I let it go and I realized that I can't make someone want this more than me, is when I saw things happen faster. I saw people started to step it up, and I realized this analogy, it's kind of like a balloon, right? Because I feel good at motivating people. That was one of my strengths in the beginning. Like, I can motivate you to no end, but eventually that's not going to last forever. So kind of like a balloon, you know, it's filled with helium. And eventually, like, you pumping motivation into that balloon, it's going to deflate over time, right? You want to find the people that are, right, self-motivated, the people that get it, the people that just get in that self-paced training, which I have the same one, Kim, and it's like, dying. But I realized the ones that are in there, the self-motivated ones, they're the ones that I don't need to pump helium motivation into them. They are on their own, self-motivated, and their balloon is filled, and that thing is not dying down whatsoever. But it takes time to get to those people, right? It takes time to attract those strong builders. And a lot of times I think coaches are just like, well, why don't I have, you know, all working coaches? They're all discount people, or no one's really working. And I think it's really because you just don't have enough people, right? And we're going to get into kind of how you attract the business builders and all of that. But, you know, you don't want to be dragging these coaches along that are not self-motivated. You really do have to let them go. Bless and release. It took me a long time to learn that. You know, can only be someone's cheerleader so long. And I just felt so burnt out from cheer, run, come on, this is the best thing, move. And I was so drained. So you really got to let it go now. Take a deep breath, let go of the people who do not want this. I'm telling you, it is going to hinder yourself, right? It's going to hinder your emotional state being, your physical, and your business tremendously. You just got to let those people go. And by you bringing people in and staying consistent with Success Club and recruiting, you're going to find the willing and the working people. But you can't only focus on the negative. And I did that for a very long time. You want to find the independent people that, you know, are going to run, and they're going to run quick, and they're going to be kind of self-motivated and not coach tail you. And I realized in the beginning I was coach tailing my coach, Christina, for a very long time. And finally, she kicked me to the curb, and it was one of the best things that happened. So if you do have coaches that are kind of coach tailing you and they're just like not running their own challenge groups, they're not doing their own trainings, and you know they're ready, like you have to tell them. And I at first was like kind of offended, but I realized as part of this business and being a leader, to step it up, get out of your comfort zone and do the things that make you feel uncomfortable. So, you know, those are the people you want to work with, right? You don't want the people that are dragging you. And so I think too, that's how you find, you know, the people that, you know, want to work this and the strong business builder. So I hope that kind of shed some light as far as working with the willing. Did that kind of help you guys a little bit? I know it's not easy, trust me, like it's easier said than done. But I just think it's through experience and through time that you can't, you got to realize that not everybody's going to be like you, right? Or have the same goals and visions. And I realized very fast and early on that not everyone's going to have a why to want to retire themselves, make a six-figure income, want to, you know, bring their spouse to work less. Like I had really crazy big goals. And I knew that's not for everyone. I still get a little disappointed, being honest, that some coaches wanted it in the beginning and now they totally lost that vision. They were diamond and they just totally fell off. I mean, it's just disheartening, you know, but you gotta let it go and you gotta find new people. So I have new awesome coaches on my team and they're rocking it. So it's just this circle of Beachbody coaching, you know, people get off the train, then awesome people get on the train, and it's just this cycle. But you gotta realize that you're not getting off. You know, your train is going forward, and whoever gets on and off, great, that's good for them, but you're going this way, and it doesn't matter what's happening around you. You know where you're going. And so that's kind of the mindset that I've had. And obviously through personal development, it's kept my mind really strong that whatever happens around me, you know, it's not going to affect me. And I think that's another reason personal development is so important. And I think all the top coaches say that personal development is critically important, because I think as just human beings, we get wrapped up in what's happening around us and we let it get to us. The feelings and the emotions, being women, you just got to brush it off and let emotions flow off you really fast. This is a business. So the next one, how to attract strong business builders. This is one of my favorite topics. And I think this is one of the things that most coaches really struggle with is, you know, how do I find people that just get it, you know, that want to work the business, that have that vision. I think that's important. It's how do you find someone that has a big vision? Because for me, I had a big vision. Kim has a big vision, or she wouldn't be in it this long. You guys are here tonight, almost 9 o'clock, because you have a bigger vision. We want those people that have a vision, right? Not just someone that, a discount coach that is still working on themselves. I mean, yes, we need those people, but you want to find the people that want this long-term on the train, right? No matter what happens around them, life is going to get in the way. They're going to keep going straight, right? So you want to work with those people. And so this is the concept that I was talking about earlier. You need to grasp is that, you know, this is a numbers game. So maybe like 10 to 15 coaches, you know, that you sign, maybe one out of those 10 to 15 are actually going to run and work the business. So you got to be okay with that number, that you always need more people. You always, you know, need to be knowing that the more people you bring in, the more are going to stick. And I know that sounds like, geez, everyone's just a number. But this is a business. And if you're in this for the long run, if you have really big goals to grow your team, grow your income, to maybe retire yourself or be more present with your family, you want to be bringing in more people, because you're going to obviously find that one person that wants to run. So I'm just going to give you a statistic. I have probably around 200 coaches. Not maybe all of them are active at the moment, but I have around 200 in my PS group, right? Not all of them are active. I don't even know how many are active, but say I brought in around 200 coaches. I would say out of 200 coaches at the top of my head, awesome business builders that have had transformations, that are making a substantial income, are maybe about 15 to 20 of that 200. So you see, it is a complete numbers game. And then I would say one out of all of those 200, she's making around $2,000 a week. And she is I mean, my top recruiter, top everything. She's going to surpass me in rank. I mean, with the way she's going, and she's already surpassed me with elite points. So it just shows you the more people you can bring in, the more are going to stick. And my coach always told me that, and it just always stuck in my head. No matter who's falling out, no matter what is happening around me, I'm just going to keep bringing in more people, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to be resourceful. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to figure this out, okay? I mean, this is going to become my job. And so I figured it out along with some other things. Reading a book, Entre Leadership by Dave Ramsey. I highly recommend that book. And he talks about, like, you know, sharing your vision and your why. And this is another part of attracting strong business builders. If you're not sharing, you know, the reason why you're doing this, your vision and where you're going, like on that train, where you're going, it's going to be hard to get other people on your train with you. Because as much as we love health and fitness and Shakeology, that is all great. That's our way to kind of lure people into our challenges to get Success Club. But if you want to attract strong builders, people are attracted to bigger than health and fitness, right? People are attracted to what can this do for their life, bigger picture, long term. Everybody is in debt, most people. Everybody is struggling living paycheck to paycheck. You know, people are just getting by. If you talk to people, hear their stories, you know, talking about the coaching opportunity, or just, you know, having conversations every day with people, you're going to realize everybody is struggling. Most people are. I'd say at least 80% of the population. So by you sharing and giving a solution as to why you're coaching and sharing success stories, even if you haven't had success. I remember in the beginning, I would share Christina and Becky's success stories, because that's another way to show, hey, like, this is what I'm working for, but look, this is possible. So sharing where you're going, why you're doing this, and just a bigger picture. So for example, like in the beginning, I shared that I wanted to retire, you know, myself and not be a hairstylist anymore. I wanted to be home with my family. Obviously, if you are friends with your boss on social media and you can't blast that all over, you know, you could do it through personal message. You can get on the phone and talk to prospects. There's so many ways around that. But sharing that bigger vision and why, that is really the most powerful recruiting tool that you have, right? So I share with my team. I think that kind of gives some trust, because they trust me to stay on this journey with me, that I'm not going to steer them wrong, that this is possible for them if it's happened for me. I share publicly at least every couple of days, kind of slipping in the coaching opportunity, sharing in my why, my vision. I shared a couple of days ago, coming back from Disney, that we weren't able to do this, you know, as far as, I mean, before Beachbody, our first Disney trip, we had to charge the whole trip, and it just was a nightmare. Now we could go and like enjoy ourselves, stress-free, not worrying about money whatsoever. So I shared that, because I mean, what family could go to Disney and pay for the whole thing in cash? Not that many. So that attracts people. So you want to share what you're working for, share the hope that this can bring, and people can relate to that more than health and fitness, believe it or not. And I hate to say it, because I know I'm putting down the health and fitness part, but I'm being real as far as building this business and attracting strong business builders. And you have to think that your challengers are all seeing these posts about your why and your vision and your story. And so when you go to share the coaching opportunity, either about the discount or the opportunity, they're exposed. They're already exposed several times. That's why it's critically important for you to keep sharing every couple days. And if you're expanding your network, I know you're going to think like, geez, I'm sharing so many times, it's so annoying. But if you're expanding your network on a daily basis, it's not. People need to hear your story, like Dave Ramsey said, over and over. There's a quote I think I was going to share. Like, you have to share your vision 21 times, he said in this book, for people to catch on and join you on your journey. So when I read that, I was like, that is mind-blowing. This was maybe a year into coaching. I'm like, I got to share my story and where I'm going so much more. So when I started doing that, I realized I attracted stronger people to my team, the stronger business builders, the people that that they wanted more. I mean, all of my strong business builders, the maybe 15, 20 of them, I look at them and I try to see, like, what do they all have in common? They all have such strong whys. I mean, just at the top of my head, one of my coaches, Farron Axelrod, she was living at home. Her husband too, living at her parents' house. They had the worst financial situation you could think of, being bankrupt. They just, after 2 years of Beachbody, just got into their first condo, and her credit is awesome. I don't know how both of them together made it happen, but it's because she's brought in such an awesome income with Beachbody. Her why was so strong. Another one, single mom. Her husband leaves her, unfortunately, has 2 kids, has to move back home, and she's so open about it, and she shares her story. She's attracted so many other single moms to her. And she has been able to bring in a substantial $1,000 a week. She paid off $16,000 of debt she shared a couple weeks ago. She's going to go 2-star diamond in 1 week. I think she is left qualifying. So you see, these people that I've attracted have really strong whys. You want to find those people, right? Those people that are lifers, that they're not going anywhere. They need this income. And so, by doing that, you also share your struggles. I shared that we were in debt. I shared my husband and I argued about money, and it wasn't fun. And I think that's the number one thing marriages actually argue about is money. So if you can share a solution, right? You have a solution for people. Why wouldn't people, take a good look at this or have their eyeballs more on your timeline and your post? So you want to speak to those people that you want to attract. So I was speaking to the struggling moms, the struggling families, the people that were just like me 3.5 years ago. So I think that is the missing link that a lot of coaches are not doing, is they're not sharing, the why and the opportunity and the bigger vision here on kind of a daily basis. And of course I miss some days, but it's very consistent. And that is what is going to attract people to you, not your health and fitness posts every single day. That gets annoying, actually. So share it, but add in coaching. Add in why you're doing it. Don't just share, hey, I finished and I feel amazing. Yes, you feel amazing, but why are you doing this, right? That's how we attract people for Success Club. Also, getting into Success Club is why you're doing this, right? The why, just like Simon Sinek says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So the why for coaching and the why for challenges. I know it seems like common sense, but we're just not doing it. I look on all of my coaches' timeline, and majority of them are not doing it. During my one-on-one calls with my coaches, I'm usually kind of scrolling their timeline, and usually by the first 5 posts, I can tell if someone is really into coaching or not. And that, I would just say, out of most of my coaches and just coaches that I've seen, it's all health and fitness and Shakeology. So I think that is something we got to get good at. If you go to YouTube, you could look up tons of videos on how to recruit coaches. Bonnie Engel has an amazing one with Raina O'Donnell, Recruiting School. I highly recommend. That's one of the best recruiting videos ever. But you just got to be intentional about sharing your story. I think that's how people kind of are drawn to you also. Your story, where you were before Beachbody, where you are now. I mean, there's so many ways to kind of share this opportunity, other people's successes, the non-financial, the lifestyle, objections. There's so many different things, but I think the main important thing is sharing your why and where you're going with Beachbody, because then people are going to understand why you're doing this instead of you just looking like a salesperson wanting to make commission off of the challenge pack. So you're going to attract people more to that bigger vision. I hope that makes sense, but it's kind of the information I've gathered from, of course, my success, and then the awesome business builders that I have. They're having tremendous success, and they're also doing the same thing. But like I said, you want to be expanding your network. I think that's so important too, because a lot of times we're just preaching to the same choir, the same people over and over and over again. And so if you're not expanding your network with, say, free groups or mutual friends or a like page, going to be hard to get new eyeballs on your story. And I know for me, free groups have been such a blessing. I'll never forget, I was on my first Success Club trip, and we sat next to Tara Carr's mom, and she just like told us all of Tara Carr's secrets. And ever since then, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do what she's saying. And she just said that Tara Carr grew her entire network and her team off free groups. And I just was like, I'm getting home and I'm running free groups like a mad woman. And so I did. And so every month I stopped doing free groups for a while, maybe about 6 months ago, and I picked it back up. But I have been consistent with free groups mostly every single month. And that's how I get so many new people now. And there's so many awesome ways to have a lot of people in those groups. As far as if you're just using your personal page, I love free groups. I could talk about them for a long time, but I think that's another key to attracting strong business builders, because when you talk about your sneak peek, when you talk about coaching, guess what? You have new eyeballs, not the same ones all the time. So expanding your network, sharing your why, your bigger vision is really important to kind of moving forward along with Success Club, which we're going to talk about. So Success Club, I think this is the most important thing along with sharing your vision. I know you guys have all heard Success Club is like, you know, that's all we hear about Success Club. And I know it does get annoying, but let me just give you a little history on why I think it's important and kind of what was like the little turning point for me and why I took Success Club seriously. So, excuse me. It was maybe my third Super Saturday in Miami here. We had Jason Dibo. I'm not sure how to say his last name. He's Becky and Christina's upline, kind of our bigger upper team above them. And he got up and made an awesome speech, and he touched upon Success Club. And I was still new, and I was like, you know, in love with Beachbody and just like, okay, I'm going to do whatever they say. And he said something that like struck a chord with me. And he said, you know, and it's just crazy because I'm like thinking he's the 18th millionaire in Beachbody, right? He has all this success, and he just, you know, was just sharing all of his success. And he said at the end, what got him to where he was getting Success Club consistently every single month without fail, and then really working on that Success Club. So the working on would be, you know, like sharing the coaching opportunity, working with Willie, all those things come with Success Club, but Success Club is first, right? You don't have a business, I think Christina said that, if you don't have Success Club. And he said that where he was today, he got, you know, that where he got Success Club. And that was such like a aha moment to me, where all I have to do is help 2.5 people a month. Like, that's crazy. And of course, along the way, I've realized it's more than that. You really have to shoot for Success Club 10 if you want to get to your goals faster. Of course, you're going to still get to your goals with Success Club 5. But he said, he goes, all I did was help 2.5 people a month, and it got me to where I am. And he's like a founding coach. He's been in this for like 9 years or something. And it was crazy to me because I was still so new, and I was just like, that's it. And so I took it seriously. I literally got home and I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure out every month how to get Success Club. And I've done that every month, 42 months. I'm proud of that number because I worked so hard for it, right? You get Success Club in a month and you feel like you've conquered the world. And really, that's how I feel with that number, 42 months in Success Club. I've only, out of those 42 months, gotten Success Club 8 and Success Club 7 last month, less than Success Club 10, those 2 months. So all the other months, in 40 months, I've gotten Success Club 10 plus. So that's kind of, you see, it moves your business forward so much faster with recruiting coaches. My goal every month is to recruit at least 5 coaches. And then, I mean, the number of coaches I've brought in. So you see, Success Club is critically important to a growing, thriving business at all times. And as I look at my top coaches, the ones that are successful, they were my best challengers, right? So of course, some coaches have different theories on bringing everyone in as a discount coach or a coach and starting off. But for me, I've always been love on people where they are, and they will naturally progress to where they want to be, right? So those top coaches that I have, my top earners, top, recruiters, top everything, the ones with strong whys, they started as a challenger, nothing more. Not a discount coach, they were just challengers first, just me getting Success Club. So you see, that's the bread and butter of this business. That is how you're going to attract the strong business builders. You're going to get people in the door, you're going to keep the ball rolling, and then turn them into coaches, build your team, bring your income up. So there's a couple tips that I have to get Success Club. I have a plan of action, number one, every single month, right? So at the end of last month, I planned out this month. I don't have my calendar here, but it's in the other room. I have an awesome success calendar. It's from Amazon, and it just shows every day there's a column, kind of like a hairstylist book, I would say it is, but it's like one of the best calendars ever. But it just shows the whole month, and I just sit down the last week of the month and I'm planning out when my challenges are going to be, when my free group, when my regular group, when my sneak peek, the whole month, kind of like Kim has a calendar for you. I do the exact same thing for my team. Excuse me, but for you, if you're not doing trainings, if you're not doing any of that, you need to sit down the last week of the month and plan out when is your free group, when is your regular group. Excuse me. So I always do that because this way I need to start kind of marketing ahead of time. I need to start talking to people, and I need to start figuring it out as soon as possible. I think too many people wait till the last minute and they're scrambling the last week of the month. If you're planning a week ahead, before the month starts, there's no reason why you should not get Success Club if you have a plan in place and you are aggressively inviting every single day and following up with people. So say, for example, I make my free groups at the end of the month. And I do that strategically so that, yes, I have new people I'm talking to, but also I work those people into a challenge preview. So the first week of the month, right now I have a challenge preview going on, and it's going to last until there is 4 days, until Thursday. And then I present and I invite them to a real group. So they went through a free group at the end of the month. Then they went into a challenge preview, which talks about Shakeology and the fitness and the workouts. And I share a video of me making Shakeology, and I get on and I have a standard video I have for all of the groups, and I share the why, and I talk about their why and my why and all that great stuff. But they're just they're exposed more. And so when the time comes to invite to a real group, it's a lot easier. So that's my plan every month. A free group at the end of the month. It could be 3, 5, 7 days. Very simple. I had a crock pot group the last week of last month, or the last week. I'm tired. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. And it went great. And so I have a couple people from that group into my challenge preview. Of course, every month is different. I'd be lying if I say everyone joins. I'm talking to new people, I'm talking to old people, and I'm just keeping that list flowing and flowing. But the free groups, I realized, just makes it so much easier. So after Halloween, my free group is actually not in this month then, because I'm doing a post-Halloween sugar detox. I'm excited about that. And then I'll do the preview right after that. So I think you got to also kind of be strategic and creative with what's going on for the month. Another great way to lock in Success Club, I realized, is you have to be fully committed with a fitness program. And I'll be honest, last month I slacked big time. I had a lot of personal stuff going on. I was not committed at all. The first time in 3.5 years, I was not committed to a program for an entire month. And guess what? I was slacking in my Success Club department because of that. And I'm sure the month 2 years ago, I got Success Club 8. I'm sure I was slacking. Because when you show that you're committed from day one till the last day, people see the commitment, they see the dedication, they see the progress in your results, and they are inspired by that. The month before last, was it August, I had the highest Success Club I probably ever had, or one of the highest, of like Success Club 26 or something. I was doing a program with my husband, and at the end of every workout, I had a sign up, like day 2, day 3, day 4, with like an inspiration here. And so many people were inspired by that. And they wanted to get their husbands on board. And it was an awesome month. And it was because I was fully committed to a program. And I see that with my coaches, and I see that with other coaches. If you're not fully committed to, say, the 21-day fix or the 21-day fix extreme, and your meals and showing your journey along with sharing the coaching opportunity, it's going to be hard to get Success Club, right? People want to see it to believe it. They want to see your progress. So best tip to get Success Club, you need to be fully committed to a program. So after last month, I was like, oh my goodness, this was a bad month. I'm fully committed to the 3-week yoga retreat. I'm super excited about that. The third tip that I have is working from your master contact list, doing invites and follow-ups. This list is something you can't take lightly. This is your master contact list. So I have a list for everything on my desktop here. It's just on the notes, Safari notes. I have a note for my new coaches, my new challengers, the following month prospects, who's in my challenge preview. And these are lists that I work through to follow up with people, to add new names to whoever's in my free groups, like their names going on, for example, September Crockpot group. Those are all my new prospects now. So I want to write little notes next to their name. I want to keep tabs on everyone. And so, as the months go by, I go back to these, and all the people who said, well, not now, maybe next month. Well, I have new people to follow up with. You cannot be just relying on Facebook messages and not be organized. And trust me, I am someone that is so not organized, but this note system works really well for me. I know a lot of coaches have Teamsy, and a lot of my coaches love it. But for me, this is a system that works. It's easy, and if it's not broken, I'm not fixing it. So, working from your master contact list, this is important, because if you're not talking to people, if you're not following up, if you're not inviting, and you don't have conversations going, it's going to be hard to lock in Success Club. You cannot wait for people to come to you. I've tried that just by posting. You cannot wait for people to come to you. It's just not going to happen. You have to go after it. There's so many times where I went through my contact list and I messaged the same people or brand new people, and people were like, I'm ready now, sign me up, let's do this, because they got tired of seeing my posts, I'm sure. They wanted to get healthy and fit, and finally I invited them. So inviting is critically, critically important. It's just non-negotiable to get Success Club. It's definitely what has gotten me to where I am after 3.5 years with the income and all the success. It is because of Success Club. I can't stress Success Club enough. And I know you guys hear it over and over again from everybody, but obviously everyone's saying it for a reason. So I would not take it lightly. And one more thing I did want to share is that, I like statistic numbers. I feel like it kind of motivates me and motivates other people. But my top coaches on my team, and the highest earners and the biggest recruiters, I've realized they all have something in common. They all get Success Club 10 plus. All of them, non-negotiable, every single month. And they also run free groups every month. They set up their monthly marketing plan the month before. They have a plan of action. They're fully committed to a program. I mean, they don't take this lightly, because yes, they have a strong why. So Success Club, you see, is what's going to get you to that bigger income. I know most people, right? That's why we're in this. Money makes the world go round. It gets us to that why and that bigger vision. But Success Club, right? That has to be number one. That's what keeps this ball going forward, this train moving forward, and it's going to help you get to where you need to go so much faster, right? Because you're going to have people to present the opportunity to. You're going to have people to, join your team and all of that great stuff. So I hope these tips have helped you guys, and that's all that I have.
Awesome, Danielle. Thank you so much. One thing that really struck out to me was what you said, that strong potential builders are attracted to bigger than just health and fitness. I know that was from towards the beginning of everything you presented to us, but that totally stuck out to me, because I think that's something that a lot of people have a really hard time with is, getting away from, not that you don't need to post health and fitness, because you do, but posting your why and, the deeper stories about why you're doing this. I think that is very hard for a lot of people to kind of get out of their comfort zone and to share that. But you're exactly right. That's what people need to hear if we want to attract those strong people. Right. Or else they may not even know that, the whole coaching thing really exists, or they may not understand how big the potential is. I know I didn't understand that at first when, I first started seeing Emily's post, my coach. I just kind of thought, well, what the heck is she doing? I was like, yeah, I'll do that just because I like insanity. I like Shakeology. Seriously, that was my whole thing, And it wasn't until a few months in that I realized what the potential was. So a lot of people just don't know, and yeah, I think it's up to us, to really share that with them. Oh, there you are. Somebody went away and my whole screen shifted. I was like, wait, where'd she go? But one other question that that Ashley had for you, you were talking about your free groups and kind of moving them to a challenge group preview, which I think is a really cool idea. And I think I actually listened to a National Wake Up Call just a couple weeks ago that I think it was Katie Ersta does something very similar. Do you put everybody that's in your free group into a new challenge group preview, or just specific people? And is it really a new group, or is it an event?
I have a group, and it's like a group that I do. I do it every month, and I just clear people out of there because I don't like to recreate groups. It's just easier just to leave people out of there. But I just share the group into the free group, and I share that I'm going to be talking about my next group. And I don't really mention Shakeology. I don't mention 21 Day Fix. I'm just sharing. I'd love for you to get a sneak peek into my next group starting on blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be sharing the details and, what it entails coming up. And all you have to do is press the link, sit back, enjoy. I really don't want to throw up Beachbody too much in the initial, because I just want to get them in. And once they obviously start seeing the post, they're going to notice it's Beachbody. It's, of course, hit or miss, depending on the person, but once I'm friends with them, they're going to be seeing my posts, right? They're going to be exposed so much more. So I really just want to become friends with them in the free group. I don't mention anything about Beachbody in that free group. It's just building a relationship because they're going to see it on my timeline eventually.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I think that's a really neat idea. So yeah, like I said, I was listening to a National Wake Up Call about that too. Just it was from a few weeks back, and I thought, oh, that's really cool, but I don't know anybody that's actually doing it. So
yeah. I think I got the idea from Jitana. I don't know her, right? She's in one of the East region groups. She was really successful at it. I saw that she did an event with, she did an event for it, and she racked up 30 or 40 successful points from doing this. And so I thought it was genius. So I said, I'm going to start doing it every month. And one of my leaders, actually, my awesome leaders, made I can send it to you, kind of a leader guide on how it's ran with all of it's all her content. And then I made it my content. I did a whole different Word document. and I just use it every month. I think it's just so great to expose people instead of just a personal message, because you see kind of the team culture in the group, and I have my coaches, the newer coaches, invite their prospects to it to help them get Success Club a lot easier. So, you know, they know once a month now, it's on our team calendar, that there's going to be a challenge preview, and they can do their own free groups or whatnot around it. But that's what I just recommend and kind of help them get started, because it's not easy as a new coach to kind of like jump out there.
Yeah. No, I think it's an awesome idea. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind shooting that document over to me, that would be amazing. I think that would be really cool to try out. Of course, we'll talk about it and everything. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so, so much. I absolutely loved your tips. I completely agree with everything Danielle says.
Awesome.
Anybody else have any questions for her real quick before we hop off? Y'all good? Good. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. Danielle, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me. And I will see you next week on my call, and then in San Diego.
San Diego. I can't wait.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Have a nice night.
Up soon, okay? Y'all have a good night.